Your body was designed to burn fat, not as a special mode you have to unlock with the right diet or the right protocol, as its default state between meals, during sleep, during movement, during rest. Fat burning is not the exception. It is what your body does when the conditions are right. But for millions of people, those conditions are never right. Not because they are doing something dramatically wrong, because 7 specific biological signals have quietly shifted. Signals that most people would never connect to fat burning. And their body has essentially stopped accessing stored fat as fuel. Today we are going to name all 7. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly which ones apply to you. But first, I need to tell you something about how fat burning actually works, because most people have a fundamentally wrong model. Fat burning is not controlled by willpower. It is not controlled by how little you eat or how hard you train. It is controlled by a single hormone, insulin. When insulin is elevated, your body is in storage mode. Fat cells are locked. Stored fat cannot be released. Your body runs on incoming glucose, and when that runs out, it breaks down muscle for fuel before it will access stored fat in the presence of elevated insulin. When insulin drops through fasting, through low carbohydrate eating, through extended movement, the lock on your fat cells opens. Fatty acids are released into the bloodstream. Your liver converts them into ketones, and your body burns stored fat for fuel. This is the fundamental switch. Insulin up, fat burning off. Insulin down, fat burning on. And everything that follows, all 7 signs, is either a direct or indirect consequence of that switch being stuck in the wrong position. Here are the 7 signs your body has stopped burning fat. And this is where it gets genuinely eye-opening. Sign 1, you are hungry within 2 hours of eating. When your body is efficiently burning fat, it can seamlessly transition between burning dietary calories and burning stored fat for fuel. This metabolic flexibility means hunger comes on gradually and is easy to manage. When fat burning is blocked, your body can only run on glucose, and glucose burns fast. Within 2 to 3 hours of a carbohydrate-heavy meal, your blood sugar drops. Your body has no stored fat to transition to, and hunger hits hard and fast. If you find yourself urgently hungry 2 hours after a full meal, your metabolic flexibility is compromised and your fat-burning switch is stuck in the off position. Sign 2, your energy crashes in the afternoon. The 2 to 4 p.m. energy crash is so common in modern life that most people assume it is normal. It is not. It is a biological signal. Adults with healthy fat-burning metabolism maintain stable energy throughout the day because they can seamlessly access stored fat when blood sugar dips between meals. Adults with blocked fat-burning metabolism experience an energy crash every time blood sugar drops because they have no metabolic bridge to stored energy. The afternoon crash is not about willpower or sleep debt. It is about fat-burning capacity, and fixing it requires restoring the hormonal conditions that allow your body to access stored fat between meals. Sign 3, you cannot fast without extreme hunger or brain fog. This is the most direct test of fat-burning capacity. If you try to extend your overnight fast, skipping breakfast and pushing your first meal to noon, and you experience severe hunger, inability to concentrate, irritability, or physical weakness, your body has lost the ability to run on fat. Metabolically flexible people transition into fasting effortlessly because their body switches to fat as fuel within a few hours of insulin dropping. Metabolically inflexible people whose fat burning is blocked try to fast and immediately experience the symptoms of fuel deprivation because their body cannot access stored fat. The hunger and brain fog are not signs that fasting is wrong for you. They are signs that your metabolism needs to be retrained to access the fuel it already has. Sign 4, your weight loss has completely stalled despite eating less. This is the one that frustrates people most. You cut calories, the scale moved initially, and then it stopped, and you cut more, and it still stopped. Here's the mechanism. Aggressive calorie restriction elevates cortisol. Elevated cortisol raises blood sugar. Elevated blood sugar raises insulin. Elevated insulin locks fat cells. You are eating less, but your insulin is keeping the fat locked inside the fat cells regardless. You are not burning stored fat. You are burning muscle protein that your body is converting to glucose to meet its fuel needs, which is why aggressive restriction produces weight loss without meaningful fat loss, and why the scale eventually stops moving entirely while body fat remains stubbornly in place. Sign 5. You wake up with cravings for carbohydrates or sugar. When your liver glycogen is depleted overnight, and your body cannot efficiently access stored fat for energy, your brain sends an emergency fuel request first thing in the morning. That request comes as an urgent craving for fast-burning carbohydrates, sugar, bread, cereal, fruit juice. If you wake up craving these foods intensely, it is a sign that your overnight fat burning was insufficient and your brain is demanding glucose because it has no metabolic alternative available. Sign 6. You have stubborn belly fat that does not respond to diet or exercise. We have covered this extensively on this channel, but in the context of fat burning signs, it is worth stating clearly. Visceral fat is specifically resistant to fat burning when cortisol is chronically elevated. Cortisol receptors in visceral fat are significantly more dense than in subcutaneous fat, which means visceral fat responds to cortisol signals disproportionately. High cortisol means visceral fat is protected. It stays locked even when you are in a calorie deficit, even when you are fasting, even when you are exercising, until the cortisol baseline drops through sleep, through stress management, through reduced intensity exercise. Visceral fat will not move regardless of what the scale shows. Sign 7. Your sleep is poor despite being tired. This one is the most unexpected. Poor sleep is both a cause and a consequence of blocked fat burning. Poor sleep elevates cortisol. Elevated cortisol blocks fat burning, but blocked fat burning also disrupts sleep because your brain, running on glucose rather than fat, experiences blood sugar fluctuations during the night that trigger cortisol releases that wake you up or prevent you from entering deep sleep. The cycle is self-reinforcing. Poor fat burning causes poor sleep. Poor sleep worsens fat burning, and both together keep cortisol elevated, which keeps visceral fat locked, which keeps the entire cycle running. And now, the final twist, the one that reframes everything. These 7 signs are not 7 separate problems. They are 7 symptoms of one problem. A metabolic environment where insulin is chronically too high and cortisol is chronically too elevated for your body to access stored fat efficiently. And the solution is not 7 separate interventions. It is one intervention applied consistently. Create the conditions where insulin drops and cortisol follows. Fast for 12 to 16 hours daily. Walk after meals to blunt post-meal insulin spikes. Sleep 7 to 9 hours in a cool, dark room to lower cortisol. Eat protein and fat at your first meal to extend the low insulin state. Remove seed oils and refined sugar to reduce the inflammation that drives cortisol. Do this consistently for 4 weeks and watch which of these 7 signs disappear first, because they will. Drop a comment and tell me how many of these 7 apply to you right now. I want to know. And if this video finally explained something that has been frustrating you, subscribe.